welcome everybody to the Ultimate Advisors Resource Podcast, where we help advisors like you learn more about their practice, learn more about life insurance ideas and annuity ideas. We want to help you guys write more insurance. And today, our topic is practical strategies to build momentum heading into the new year. I think that now is a very important time to make plans for 2026. And, failing to plan, I think, is a big problem with a lot of advisors.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Exactly. That is the saying. And so I've got Madeline here, our marketing director here at Advisors Resource Company. And,
Who are you?
I'm Jordan Pence, president of Advisors Resource Company.
Thank you.
And, I usually spend this time of the year, I'll spend the time between Christmas and New Year's really digging in and making a plan for our company going forward for the next year. And I think that's an important thing to do because you've got to know where your next clients are going to come from. What are you going to do with your existing clients? What are your plans going to be? How much are you going to spend on marketing? Who your partners are going to be?
Right.
What type of products are you going to promote? What type of strategies are you going to promote? And I think this is exceedingly important to think about because all of you out there who are selling insurance, selling annuities, doing financial planning, doing investment, doing all these things, you are running a business, and you've got to remember that. And your job is to, market and sell your services to people. So anyways, that's kind of how I wanted to do a little bit of an intro.
Yeah.
And, we've got a couple of topics. I think if you want to go over them and get right into it.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I think a lot of times with the holidays coming up, people say, oh, finally, busy season, we're going to wind down a little bit. They start to slow down, but really that's kind of a bad place to get started because you don't want to be coming into January unprepared. Oh, well, what am I going to do? It's the new year. Let's start now. You're already behind. And so really a big part of it is not slowing down, keeping it up. Making a plan.
I was actually talking to an advisor right before this, and I said exactly that. I mean, you need to keep your foot on the gas at all times in this business because, you won't feel that today. If you take a break, you won't feel it tomorrow. You won't feel it a month from now, but you're going to feel it 6 months from now when you don't have any prospects teed up. That delay of activity impacts you dramatically in the future.
It's definitely a ripple effect.
Exactly. And, I think the holidays, the next, we're going into Thanksgiving next week. Not a lot's going to be happening. And people use that as an excuse to do nothing, but I think it's a great time to connect to people. I mean, I think next week, if we're on the phones and we're reaching out to advisors, we're going to have some of the best, we're going to connect to people, like get a hold of people more often than we have over the past 2 weeks.
Right.
And that's because people slow down in the holidays and they're more like, they're going to be with their families, but who doesn't need a little break from their family?
Okay, Jordan. I think it might be not a great time for advisors to be connecting with their clients per se. Like their clients might be on vacation, they can try to, but if that's the case for them, it's a good time for them to step back and look at their own practice, reassess with your employees and those times when you're not able to connect with your clients.
I think it can go both ways, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I think it can go both ways. So during the holidays, it's a good excuse to call your clients, wish them a Merry Christmas, wish them Happy Thanksgiving, send them a Christmas card. I mean, all of these touches mean something. And you can even do the same touch points with your prospects, right?
Yeah.
So, I've got I'm sure a lot of advisors do this, but I have a kind of one-man advisor. We've had him on the podcast before, and he sends a handwritten Christmas card to every single one of his clients.
His
And
name Bill.
yeah, Bill, he wouldn't mind. So Bill sends a handwritten Christmas card to every single one of his clients.
Yeah. And text for their birthday. He'll say something unique to them, ask a very specific question or comment about, their kids, their dog. It's personal.
That's meaningful, right?
It is.
And I've been in the business for a number of years, and that stuff matters. I mean, when I first got in the business, there was this guy, I think his name was Ken, and he would tell me, I send a Christmas card to every single one of my clients, and he'll go into their house 2 months later, February,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the only freaking Christmas card they have hanging on
their mantle.
on their mantle or whatever.
That's crazy. It is
mean,
meaningful. So I don't think it's a waste of money. It can be costly to,
no,
pay for that. A lot of times get them customized and then address all of them. But you can automate all that stuff. We do.
yeah,
I think it's Vistaprint is a really good resource to auto send those. So you just upload their name, address, and then it will automatically send it to them.
exactly.
Really heavy lifting.
And again, that's low effort. The more effort you put out in it, the more you're going to get out of it. So, you maybe do that to the masses, and then you take 10 of your top clients, send them a handwritten note, whatever it is, doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter that you do something. It doesn't
Doing
matter.
something's better than nothing.
Exactly.
If you don't have the capacity to do the handwritten note like Bill, then the automated is your next best bet to connect.
Exactly. Sometimes it just is the thought that counts. So as the season's winding down, Christmas time's going to come. Again, I still think it's a good time to try to connect with people. They're going to have more time off at work.
True.
They might not want to meet, but so let me give you this example. A lot of people use, I've got so much going on in the holidays as an excuse because they don't want to take the time to meet.
Yeah.
So I understand that excuse, but also it's, Christmas is like a 2-day event.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving's maybe a 2-day event.
Right. But you don't always have to have an agenda when you touch point either. It doesn't always have to be, I want to try to sell you something. I want to talk business all the time. Be their friend, be someone they trust and just build rapport. Sending them a Christmas card is just something nice to do. You don't have to push an agenda behind it.
All right. So what do you do at the end of 2025? You should assess what you did over the last year.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many advisors I talk to, and you ask them how much in target premium did you write last year? I don't know, maybe 20 or 50,000. 20 or 50,000. That's like a 2-time swing, So I think you need to take that time to review what you did, where your revenue came from. If you work with us, just ask me. I can provide you a report of exactly how much you wrote, how much you got paid on that. We can provide you a report on that. And why I'm saying this is in order to improve the score, you need to know the score.
Yes.
I went to, there was a trainer. His name was Gary Kender. He's since passed away, but when I first got in the business, I went to one of his classes, and that was his big saying was, in order to improve the score, you must know the score, right? So if you want to improve your practice, improve your performance inside your practice, if you want to sell more, and I don't think sell's a dirty word, if you want to help more clients, meet more clients, make more money, you gotta know the score. You gotta know where it came from.
Yeah, tracking it. I mean, that's true in a lot of different areas of your business, tracking, your employees, their input and output and what they're up to and just every
Tell
metric.
me about it.
No, I'm just saying there's multiple metrics besides the ones listed that you need to stay on top of. I know We have a system we use. Can we speak on EOS a little bit or no?
Sure, if you want to.
Yeah, sure. So it helps us just track our goals. It's a CR. Well, you got wouldn't call it a CRM,
Well,
would you?
EOS is really and if you want the book, I'll give you the book if you call me. But EOS is it stands for Entrepreneurial Operating System, and really it's just a way to sort of run your business. And one of the key components of it is the scorecard, right? So having some KPIs that you're keeping track of. So like one really good KPI that I think all advisors, you should know this. Like I should be able to ask you this and you should know this, is how many meetings are you running per week?
Mm-hmm. Yep, on average, and
How many meetings do you run a week?
yep,
Um,
and the
and that
system will tell you that.
well, you got to keep track of it, but yeah, you
Yeah.
can keep track of it in any system, any
Mm-hmm.
way. You could do it in Excel for all I care, but you should really know how many how many appointments you run per week, and then you should know how many new clients you brought on. Did you bring on one a week? Did you bring on one a month? That
And
sort of
it's
thing.
these little micro trackers that are gonna affect, the bigger numbers. So that's why it's important to break it down to what are the small things that you're doing every single day that are gonna accumulate towards your larger overarching goal.
Exactly. And one thing that, I can track now is like, for example, if our meeting count is up, right? So if our average weekly meeting is 12, but we're not getting any new illustrations or we're not bringing any new business,
Right.
well, I know that we're probably seeing the wrong people.
12 of the wrong people, thus wasting your time.
Exactly. So you need to know these metrics because if your average meeting is if you're averaging whatever 10 meetings a week and that's going up, if that's trending up and you're not getting business from it or at least making proposals to these clients or these prospects,
Right.
well maybe you're seeing people who are not really prospects of what you're doing.
Exactly. I mean,
So
it really just shines a light on something.
exactly. Now, some of these things are leading indicators and some of them are lagging indicators, right? So, like if you're a pure life insurance producer, commissions paid on a weekly basis is going to be a lagging indicator because, you might have met with that person 6 months ago initially and done a couple meetings, then finally took an application, and then it was another, couple of weeks, and then you placed that policy.
Right.
So there are such a thing as leading and lagging indicators, and I think you've got to recognize what those are. So the point of all of that is if you know the score, then you can improve the score.
Right.
And you don't have to keep track of every little thing, but there's certainly some key indicators that you can keep. There's a system, I don't even know what it calls, but it was like the sales activity manager, and it was like a point system, and it was based on.
Is that an EOS or something separate?
No, it was something made specifically for the financial services business,
Neat.
and certain things had different value, like a closing meeting, like a new scene, like you just saw a new prospect for the first time. You took a fact finder. Like all of these things matter. And maybe for your business, it's, how many fact finders did I do a week? How many new people did I see a new week
Right.
per week? So
You can also have to be selective with what you're tracking because you can't track every single little thing or else your
exactly.
time is going to be spent tracking than actually doing. So,
Well, I don't disagree. All I'm saying is if you just have no direction and don't know,
yeah,
you're just doing everything on feel. That's hard to repeat and it's hard to improve.
it is. And if you already missed the boat for that for 2025, it's not too late to get started in 2026 and make it right this year.
Exactly. So I think you got to take a step back.
Mm.
If you don't have that data, make a plan to keep that data.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And organize that data because people just have these random Excel spreadsheets or just it's really messy. And so just unmessifying it is a great idea. And I think can't you hire out just like an individual to come in, not necessarily EOS, but there's lots of people you can outsource to what do you call it? Like a consultant,
Yeah.
business consultant, just to come in and evaluate your business and make recommendations to put you on the right track.
Yeah. I mean, there's, There's sales consultant. There's all types of things. But
Right.
so, anyways, look back, and if you don't have a good data, then you need to really think about what worked. How and where did you get the best 3 clients that you got last year?
Yeah.
Okay, I got those all from this CPA relationship, or I got them all from this organization. I'm a member of the Home Builders Association. I got them all from there, or whatever it is.
Mhm.
You need to recognize where you got those people from, and then how do you repeat that? If it's a CPA, okay, maybe I need to get more CPAs, or maybe I need to be over at that CPA's office more often. Maybe I
Right.
need to work with them more closely. Now, I think you need to really think about your goals. And, okay, you want to grow your AUM by 5 million, or you want to write 5 million in FIAs and do 100,000 in target premium. Well, how are you going to do that?
Exactly.
Right.
It
So if
doesn't
you're,
happen overnight.
no. So if you're writing business through us, you can ask me. I can give you a report of your average case size. And if you knew how many meetings you had, you could kind of somewhat figure out, okay, I need to have this many meetings per week to generate this amount of sales. And I got these prospects from here. I need to keep doing that. So if you just throw out, I want 100,000 target premium and I want to do 1 million in FIAs, well, okay, that's great. But what is your plan to do that? I mean,
Right.
if you want to do 100,000, you're going to have to do about 8 or 9,000 of life insurance sales per month.
Yeah, and that's where you need to go in and take that big number, chunk it up. This is my goal each quarter to meet the quarterly goal. This is my goal each week.
Exactly.
And a tool you could even use to help you sort this is ChatGPT, I would say. I mean, type it in there. It'll kind of give you a good baseline. If you could even say, hey, be my business consultant. This is my situation. And
That's a really good point. You could do that.
it might not give you said you at your own discretion if the info is accurate, of course, but it will give you a good baseline and get you thinking so you know the right questions to ask and the right things to start measuring.
That's a really good point. And anybody that we're working with, I'm happy to visit with you and go over your plan and help you come up with a plan and help you be realistic, because a lot of salespeople make the mistake of saying, you know what, I want to do this big, huge number. And then it's like, okay, how are you going to get there?
Right.
You did 50,000 this year and you say you want to write 500,000.
You want to go big.
You're going to have to do something drastically different than last year.
It's like, do you need to hire more employees? Do you need to change your employees around? Maybe certain people aren't doing the right
You need
job.
to fire a bunch of people.
Please don't fire me. I mean, that could be true though. Like, is whoever you're paying, are they not being optimal enough doing what they're supposed to be doing? Those are just kind of the year-end reassessment, reevaluating. You set up a new structure and just try to improve your 2026.
So low-hanging fruit. I think low-hanging fruit for an advisor is topic number 4 that we have on here. So I'm going to skip the first one, but I think low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
If you do nothing out of what we're talking about, make a plan to go visit with all of your clients. Like, if you do nothing, make a plan to visit with all your clients. We've got this nice sheet. It actually came from Corbridge, but it's a who do you know sheet. And it says, who do you know that has this life event, this life event, this life event? Go to all your clients, review their policy, review their annuity, review their whatever else you do with them. And then say, you know what? I'm looking to grow my practice and I want to help more people in the community. Who do you know that has these problems?
Get those referrals teed up for the new year. So,
I mean, go out and visit your clients. That's just the lowest of the low-hanging fruit. And if you haven't visited your client for 3 years, you sold them 3 years ago, you haven't seen them since, call them up.
That's some bad service.
Well, it happens, and I get it. You're busy. Things happen. Don't make that mistake. I've made that mistake. We sold me and I did some joint work with a CPA. We sold a guy, just rolled over an old policy. It was a small case, And
you neglected him.
Well, anyways, long story short, 2 years go by. We get an appointment to review the policy with him. And he just offhandedly says, "Hey, you know what? Last summer I visited with an estate planning attorney, and we did a second to die policy in an islet, and the premium for that it was like $80,000." And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Are you kidding me? And you didn't even call us to ask?"
Right. Well, that's because they weren't positioned in your mind correctly. You weren't their
Exactly.
trusted advisor. You weren't their go-to
We
person
we
because you never
the
connected.
C the we kind of screwed up on that. So,
Yeah.
anyways, the point of all of that is to say, go see your clients. You never know what's happening. You never know what they've run across.
Mhm.
Visit with them. Make a plan to visit with them,
Yeah.
and prioritize them. Right? If you have too many clients, prioritize them. Get, there's plenty of young agents out there that would be happy to do policy reviews for you and split commissions. If you want to hook up with somebody, call our office. We'll hook you up with somebody. I mean, there's many of those opportunities out there.
Yeah, partnerships are great. We have another podcast over CPA partnerships.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. But I'm just saying, like, if you got 1,000 clients and you can't get to them all, well, don't let them just die on the vine. 50% of something is better than nothing, or them
That's true.
going somewhere else.
Mhm.
Um, and then let's circle back to this organization thing.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, I guess how can they organize right now? November, December, we're coming to a close really quick.
Yep.
So, how can they organize for the new year, 2026?
All right. If you're not, I think you should try to visit clients between Christmas and the New Year, but not a lot of people are going to be around.
Yeah.
Again, I've already mentioned it, but what you need to do is if you do not have a CRM, go buy a CRM.
Yeah.
If you want advice, you call me. I've been through them all. But
True. That's so true.
yeah, you need a CRM
I guess for the people
because
that don't know what that is, can you go into it a little bit just in case?
a CRM is a way to manage your customers and your prospects. It's a database. Salesforce is one. HubSpot is one. We have Smart Office as well. Smart Office is lovingly referred to as Dumb Office, but no, I'm
Oh,
just joking.
it's good. We use it a lot.
We do use it a lot, but it's complicated.
It is.
There's Keep. There's all types of these CRMs out there.
Mm,
Some of them can cost you thousands of dollars a month. I mean, it all
right.
depends on the features that you want.
Right. But this is going to help you segment your clients and prioritize them because you can filter through. I just want to see clients with, X, Y, and Z and just look at those individuals.
If you want to get good at follow up like me, I'm serious about this. The CRM is the way to do it. I call you up. You say, you know what, Jordan, now's not a good time. Why don't you call me back in a month? Sure thing, Joe. I put down a task for a month. I call you in a month.
Right. And it reminds you automatically. You don't have to remember.
I just put it in there.
Right.
Now I have all your data in there. If you use something like HubSpot, you can record the calls in there. You can record all the meetings in there. Now HubSpot's not cheap,
All right.
but
And you have to learn how to use it as well. You have to, be willing to put in the time to educate yourself on how to use these tools.
if you aren't using a CRM, call me. I'll explain how to use it. If like you got to spend money to make money, right? Like if you want to be serious about the business, you need a CRM.
Right.
And in theory, we've got some deals with Smart Office. You can plug into our Smart Office. Your data will feed in there from what you sell with us.
Yeah. That's
We're
true.
happy to talk about that if you want to, but I mean, you're going to forget about more opportunities that'll cost you more than what the CRM costs you. So
That's a great point. Good way to put it.
you just will if you're really in business. Now, if you're doing one meeting a week and you got 5 clients, you might have to worry about how you're going to buy dinner first, but so
Well, and that's another great point too. Your business is growing and changing, and that's why you're needing to reassess year after year. Once you go from maybe a one-man band, adding a couple employees, okay, now you're kind of adding, maybe 5, 10 more employees. Your whole business structure is going to change, and that's why you need to check in with yourself year after year.
you need a CRM if you don't have one.
Yeah.
I mean, but I agree with what you're saying. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, we're having changes in our office too. It makes sense. Like
you've got to do
things just
updates.
change.
You gotta figure, but so take this time to plan for the next year. If you need help, I'm happy to talk to anybody. Um, And I think the other thing is do a monthly review of what you did. Like spend a couple hours. It doesn't have to even be all day. It's just like, okay, I did this activity. I submitted this amount of business, or I got these many clients. Where did those clients come from? Okay, they came from here. Okay, so next month I need to increase my meetings. I need to get more referrals because my
Right.
pipeline's drying up,
Everyone's mind is kind of like, I need more money. I want to get more. Like, but you have to be realistic about these goals. What's it called? A SMART goal?
Yep.
Specific,
Specific, measurable,
goal, attain. No, is
attainable.
that it?
Yep,
Okay.
attainable, uh, results based, and time bound.
Yep. Yep.
So, anyways, so to kind of close this out, what should people do?
Well, obviously, they need to get in touch with all of their clients, assess their plan for the new year, and then take a look at their own business and reassess their goals and how they're going to meet them.
Yeah, the point is make a plan and just follow the plan. Like a lot of advisors they make the mistake of, hey, I'm going to try this thing, or I'm going to try that thing. I'm going to try this thing.
You.
And a lot of people make this mistake, me included. You get shiny object syndrome. And the best thing that you can do is stick with a strategy and
Mm-hmm.
work the strategy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Part of our strategy has been to do the podcast, do lunch and learns, do the banquet annually, right? So part of our strategy is doing this, and then face-to-face meetings is part of our strategy. So, and I've dabbled in a couple of different things over the year, but that's basically our strategy. And if you stick with it and work the strategy, okay, you'll have the results. If you just do one thing and then say, oh man, I don't know about that without a plan.
Right. Well, you can't get in over your head. It's got to be something that is attainable that you can do throughout the year, not just like people go to the gym in January, forget about it by February, that sort of thing where it just falls off. And then you're kind of in the same boat. Next year, you go to reassess. Hey, I didn't meet my goals. I wonder why. I couldn't stick to my plan. I bit off more than I could chew. And so it's about finding a balance.
Agreed. So if you want to talk about your plan, call me up. I'm happy to help. Send me an email. Um, and thanks for joining us.
All right. Thank you, Jordan.
Thanks.